All right, so it's a lot of full circle moments happening today. Beautiful day outside, by the way. It's a little hot. Florida is weird. It gets it starts nice. And you're like, oh, okay, I could wake up and go to the beach, and then as the day progresses, you're like, you know what? I just want to sit home with the AC on 68 and just watch TV.
Hey, that's a little bit too chilly
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, every woman I've ever met have what they call it. What you guys are
Anemic.
anemic. So I'm not surprised. So that's why, like any woman I invite on the show, I always say, hey, bring a jacket.
I got
Make sure
my
you're
sweater.
comfortable. Yeah. Bring a sweater or whatever.
Big
but-
shout out to Damon Wayans Jr. I got on his sweater right now. Damon Wayans Jr. was
right, talk-
popping, was popping. I
Talk
got
your
you.
shit.
Got you.
Well, welcome to another episode of These Are the Aesthetics. I go by the name of Cheech, a.k.a. the Hood Journalist, a.k.a. the Ambassador of Good Times, a.k.a. the Curator of Good Vibes. And
Ooh.
we are here with a very special guest. I have the beautiful, talented, the personality, if you will. Nay Simone is in the building today.
Hey.
Nay Simone, do you have any AKAs? Like, do you go by any
I
little
am
nicknames?
AKA that chick, AKA
Okay.
she is her, her
Okay.
is she, and she is I, and I am it. What's poppin'? Nay Simone, of course. The Nay Simone. I am the originator of the name. Don't let nobody fool you.
That's a fact. I see it.
Let's
His name's
go.
got two E's. The.
The, not the, is the Nay
All
Simone.
right, well, let's start with you a little bit because you kind of have your hands in a lot, right?
Ooh.
If someone is paying attention to your Instagram, there's no way that you get a full 8 hours of sleep, if that. You in the gym, you DJing,
Yes.
you a radio personality, you host something on Roku,
Yes.
you on set of music videos.
Yes.
I mean, you do reality TV, like.
Yes.
Like,
I do a little bit of everything.
Tell
okay?
the people a little bit about you. If you've never met
Ooh.
Nay Simone, summarize who Nay Simone is in a couple of sentences.
Nay Simone is probably the realest chick that you will ever come across. And I know females
that's
say
a
that
bold
all the
statement.
time.
That's a bold
No, but seriously, because I am authentic and unfiltered. I am who I am. I don't, you see it like, I couldn't even get cute today, but hopefully I'm looking good on
Nah,
the
the skin is
camera.
popping. The
But not
the skincare routine is on point. I will say that.
Nah, but seriously, like I'm into a lot of things. I've been doing this, a little bit of everything since young.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm 25. 25. We're gonna keep it there. But so I've dibbled and dabbled in the music industry, the film industry, the radio industry, the medical industry. I'm
Okay.
just in every industry pretty much. Like, I'm just getting my feet wet with a lot of things.
So, I mean, is this still fun for you? Like, what do you do for fun, and how do you still find how do you still like? Cause I'm pretty sure this is your calling, this is your purpose, right? But how do you still make it fun years and years later of doing the same thing? Because this industry could be a little phony sometimes, especially when you're working up the
Every
ranks.
industry is a lot of snakes, is a lot of phony people. But if you are, authentic with yourself, can't nobody change that.
Okay.
Period. So, I enjoy what I do. But let me keep it 100. I was in the medical field for about 17 years. And like TV, radio, media, everything was like kind of like my side gig. When I left New York City and moved to Florida, I said, I'm going to make this my permanent job because I want to do what I want to do.
Whenever you want to do it.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's fun. I'm not gonna hold you. Like
it is fun, but with media is so much going on. It's always something to talk about. It's not just media. I'm a broadcaster. Like I'm a journalist. I talk about pretty much everything. Politics.
So you have to be in the know.
News.
You have to be out there with the people.
You already know.
Yeah, you have to be well researched. You have to be you
Yes.
have to be like a sponge for information.
Yes.
You have to give a
Yes.
fuck a lot.
You don't really have to, but you just have to know. You don't have to give a fuck.
Okay.
But you just have to know what's going on.
Okay.
You know, you want to keep your listeners, your followers informed with what you do. So you want to bring them. You want them to trust you.
Okay.
So what you go out there and you find and you research. You want to make sure you fact check everything, because you want your people to know, like, I can come to Cheech and I know that what he's going to tell me is going to be legit. So that's how I look at things when I tell people stuff. I'm like, yo, let me tell you, let me put you on some stuff, like, you know.
And the way you are too with your personality, you don't come across as this uppity, like I'm like bigger than y'all, above y'all. Like you pretty relatable and you accessible. Like you still moving around like a regular person. It's not like you pulled up here with 3 security guards or anything like that. But I feel like I think that's some of the reasons why a lot of people resonate with you and they relate to you, because it's like you like a cool chick. Like you can hang with the boys, you can hang with the girls. You could look like a tomboy one day.
I could be with the bougie girls and I could be with the hood girls, because I'm the in between. But like, honestly,
does that help with your style of journalism? Like the person you are, like your personality, pretty much, because you can mingle with any crowd. Does that?
I'm adaptable.
Help?
Yes.
Does that help at all?
It does.
Okay.
To be totally honest, you know, people think I'm a social butterfly. I am an extrovert and an introvert at the same time.
Me too.
So when it comes to my job, you know, when it comes to the lights, camera, action, when it comes to the mic
turn it
being
on,
you know, I'm gonna do me, you know,
Okay.
because this is what I enjoy doing. But when it's camera's off, the mic is off, I'm such an introvert. I like to stay home. I like to practice on the board. You know what I'm saying? Because I practice my craft every single day. And I tell people, if you love what you do, practice your craft. Even if you think you got it under the wrap, like, I got this, I don't need to practice every day. I've been practicing since I was like 12. So every day I try to learn something new. I try different styles. I talk to different people, but I still remain me. You know, I still stay humble. I don't think I'm bigger or better than anybody, because at the end of the day, I just feel like as a culture, we all should see each other win. You know, and that's always been my motto. I always like to help people. It's a gift and a curse at the same time.
1000%.
You know, it's a gift and a curse at the same time, trust me. But, you know, overall, I'm just a giving person. I'm knowledgeable. So if I can hand the jewels over to someone, I'll do that. I don't have a problem. But sometimes it does come with a price.
Yeah, 1000%.
A price. Because I had to pay.
Yesterday's price.
You know, because at the same time, I had to pay for my education. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, people, it's okay if people want to be a sponge, but at the same time, like, wait, hold up. I had to pay for this. Like, this, I didn't get this for free.
Information anywhere is not free.
It's not. But, you know, you can still lead, and you can still, you know, it's a difference between a boss and a leader.
That's a fact.
I consider myself to be a leader because I don't like bossing nobody around. Ain't nobody got time for that. But if I can give you some jewels where you can take it and better yourself, then I'm all for it. As long as you like, yo, you know, in the process, I came across Nate Simone, she da-da-da. You know, I just be wanting my little credit. That's it. I be wanting my credit.
All right. I mean, okay. Well, let's get started on.
Let's go.
There's been a lot going on in the media. There's a lot of gossip. There's, you know, it's kind of, you guys make my job easier, because like sometimes I go on the Shade Room page and it's sitting right there, and I'm
Big
like,
shout out to the Shade Room.
Yeah.
You know, I made the Shade Room like 2 or 3 times. What's poppin', Shade Room? I appreciate you guys.
That bullshit.
Yes.
From Bamboo. Yo, you went viral a few times.
I did.
But let's start with something that, you know, is having, like, I guess, creatives in a frenzy, just regular people in a frenzy. Let's start with verified accounts, right?
Ooh, okay.
Instagram rolled it out. Pretty much anybody
Twitter.
can get verified.
Twitter, I think
Twitter did it first.
Yes.
But it did not stick. Twitter got a lot of backlash from it because people are like, oh, this app is free. That was the only place where I could come in and get my shit off. It's not about pictures. Nobody don't have to know who's behind this page. I just get to talk crazy on here and be funny and, you know, and sometimes disrespectful, you know, as much as I want. But Instagram is a little different because it's reel based, it's picture driven. So, and a lot of people seek that type of validation from Instagram. So when they introduced that you could pay for the blue check, the infamous blue check, for $14 or $15 a month. Everybody, I saw blue checks was popping up on my story left and right. As somebody who has put time, sweat, equity in your brand and building your brand, building relationships, out here with the people in real time doing the work, how do you feel about somebody popping up with 1,000 subscribers and followers? Now they have a blue check and they're requiring the same treatment as you. How do you view that?
Honestly, I don't feel any way about it. I'm like, at the end of the day, if you want to get a blue check, get a blue check. There are some pros to getting the blue check.
Of course.
With the blue check, it expands your page. It broadens your page bigger. So without a blue check, and I didn't even get a blue check yet, but the thing about it is, without the blue check, you only limited in your page to a certain, demographics. But with the blue check, more people get to see you. But what makes it crazy about the blue check is the fact that people was paying thousands of dollars to get a blue check to get verified. There was people who were stealing people's pages for followers and for the blue check.
Hacking people and shit.
Yeah, hacking all of that just for a blue check, and now you're paying $15. So I know the people who pay thousands of dollars for the blue check is probably in their feelings, because people now are doing it for $15 a month because it's a subscription. And
do you feel like it lessens the importance of it? Do you feel like it devalues the blue check? Because the blue check was for the celebrities, and if you made it, you have something valuable, you've been recognized by your peers in your community, you get that stamp. It was a stamp of approval that says, hey, this person is a leader in that space. But now, like, Roscoe down the street got 2 listeners on SoundCloud. He wants to be a rapper. He's paying for the blue check. Like, I don't think, certain people, LeBron James and that person should not be like on the same playing field.
I feel you. Maybe, the celebrities, it shouldn't be a blue check. Maybe they should get a gold check. So for the regular people, we should stick to the blue check. They should roll out a different colored check for the celebrities.
Different tiers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I understand. But there are a lot of people who didn't have a blue check that was very relevant. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the requirements, or whoever was the person looking at your account was like, yeah, let's give this person a blue check. When then you had somebody who had years of experience and never got it.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not hating on a blue check. Get the blue check. It's there. It's for you. If you want to pay the $15, go get it. But that doesn't, now it's going to say, to me, it's kind of like, well, you know what? I'm going to go to your page. I'm going to check you out, because now you're like, oh, is this a celebrity follower? Oh, no, it's not a celebrity. But then it makes you look at the person's page. Yeah, so at the same time, it's kind of like it's a pro. It's kind of like, who is this person? Oh, they got a check. Everybody do now, but now it's giving me that option. It's like, well, let me look at their page and see what they're doing. So now it's kind of bringing more people to the page, especially if you're liking and you commenting. You want to know who this person is about. Now, if that person, you're like, oh yeah, this person got a lot going on. Maybe they had their blue check before the $15. Maybe they didn't. But now it kind of gives everybody that push to look now. Because before, if you seen like Drake, hey Drake, when he come up in the DMs and stuff, it's like, oh, Drake is in the DMs. But now when you see somebody else in the DMs with the blue check, you're like, oh, who is this? But then sometimes it can be somebody, but maybe they haven't done anything really big in the last 5-6 years. So maybe it's like, oh, should I remember he used to play on this show, whatever. But why he ain't got a blue check? But now they got a blue check. But now it's starting to bring more people to the forefront. So,
but okay, let's take it okay. So this was like we were generally speaking. If we're focusing, obviously, I understand the pros. If you're a business owner and you're moving units, like you want to be recognized and you want to broaden your audience, it's beneficial for you to pay for that or to get that or to earn one, right? But let's talk about the regular, average baddie on IG that has 3,000 followers that want to separate herself from the rest. Do you feel like that person is doing it for validation? Because,
well, everybody,
we talked about the pros, but we got to talk about the cons and like the misuse of it, I guess.
Okay, so let's just go back to the start of the time when Instagram started, what, 2011, I believe, maybe 2011 it rolled
Early
out,
2000s
2010.
for sure.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 2010, 2011, right? So at the time, social media was kind of like, oh, this is a new thing. We just on social media have fun. So when we first started social media, it was all about showcasing, having fun, putting up memes. It's a fun thing. And then next thing you know, it kind of turned into a competition. And then I have a love-hate thing for social media.
Me too.
And it's like you want to keep relevant, especially if you're doing a lot of stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to post 1,500 times a day.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Or every single day. I don't want to post every single
Even
day.
for your audience, they could get tired of you.
They can. They can. Sometimes you want them to miss you for a little bit,
That's a fact.
But even if they are regular, like people don't want to accept that they are regular.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like who want to say, yeah, I'm regular, I'm ordinary.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I think like I guess before you could pay for the blue check, people had more of a battery on their back to work.
Want to get it.
To put in the work or to be associated with famous people to eventually get it. But you still was seeing a part of the work. You seen like whether it was a chick hanging out with the rappers or A&R building his portfolio through the ranks. You kind of see the legwork. But now it's like if you could pay for it, and I mean, now this generation, I'm not speaking for everybody in that generation, but a lot of people are lazy. They just want the relevance, and they want what the success and the eyes and the views. They want the good side of that, but they don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, but I always kind of look at it as like I think we lose the fact of what social media is really for. It's to be social.
Exactly.
It's to be social. I think people
And to
get caught up.
interact.
Yeah, people get caught up in the views, the likes, the followers. We get sucked in because it's brainwashing. They brainwashing us. Like at first it was all fun. And then when the blue checks started coming around and then we noticed that other people started getting blue checks, it was like, wait, hey, hold on. Who is this person? They're not a celebrity. How did they get a blue check?
And I didn't get one.
Exactly. So when you mention like it should be tiers, I think it should be.
Yeah.
I think the big celebrities like the LeBron James and the Drakes, and I believe there should be a different color check. You know what I'm saying? And then us, who they want to consider regular or ordinary, we should get the blue checks to validate that yes, this is a valid account. We got the blue check. But
I agree.
I think Mark Zuckerberg, what you should do for the celebrities, just so that, there's some type of relevance going on, that you create a gold check for the celebrities. Do
platinum check.
A platinum check, any other color. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And keep the blue checks for those who are paying for the subscription. And the people who are really up on top, give them an option to, well, not an option, but they shouldn't have to pay for a subscription.
No,
but
they
I
shouldn't.
believe they should get a different color check. I kind of think that would balance out the whole blue check situation because people are really in their feelings right now. And
a
it's
fact.
really not that serious, guys.
It really isn't.
It's not because people are like, oh, well.
And followers don't mean money. Like you could have 40,000 followers, but if they're not investing and paying attention to what you're doing or buying a product, if it doesn't turn into a profit, then you just have a bunch of eyes.
Yes, because at the end of the day, we know there's an algorithm, right?
a fact.
And with the algorithm, you can have 40,000. Like, for instance, on TikTok, I have like over 500,000 followers. And there are videos that go viral, and there are videos that gets no views. And I'm like, how I just put all of this work into this video, and I got 500,000 followers, but only 2,000 people seen it. So of course, it's the algorithm. We still don't control that, So it doesn't matter how much followers you get. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like it depends also on the what I guess social media want to push at that time.
Of course.
If it's plastic surgery that they want to force upon you, if you're not talking about that, you're gonna get shadow banned. If it's not politics, when it's time to go voting, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say shadow ban, but let me. I've been saying this to people for a long time. These apps, they box you. So if your niche is comedy, But then you pop out and you trying to do exercise videos. Your exercise videos ain't gonna get no views.
That's a fact.
Because they want you to niche down. They want you to find a niche, stick to your niche. So they can box you. Once they box you, the people who are like basically within that same niche or within that same category, they're gonna see that work. But then if you start doing other stuff, the algorithm gonna be confused. Like, well, no, we already boxed you. All this extra stuff is not gonna get seen because this is what you started off with, and this is what we're gonna keep you in. So all the videos that went viral on like TikTok was all the ratchet videos of me putting somebody on blast. But then I can have a real positive message on it,
and nobody give a fuck.
It'd be like 10 views. I'd be like, what? Yeah. So yes, they do box you. So find your niche, stick to your niche, and don't have too much of it, because what happens is it's going to get confusing and nobody's going to see any of your stuff. Find a niche, stick to your niche, and I guarantee you, you'll get more views with that.
All right. Well, yeah. To transition into the second topic, I'm glad there's a woman here. There's been a lot of light on you guys, especially in the basketball arena. LSU played, and there's been a lot of backlash and support at the same time, for the winners of the championship, the women's basketball tournament championship. And it's just crazy to see, like I guess the different facets of racism still in 2023, because it's like
2023. Terrible.
As I sat back, right, and I compare the two, I'm like, if this was happening in men's basketball, nobody would bat an eye, because it'd be like, oh, trash talk. Because men like to see that. I want to defeat you. I want to talk shit until I win. I want to beat on my chest. We champion LeBron coming out and throwing the powder up in the air and doing all this shit. And it's like, when a woman is doing it, it's like it's classless, it's tacky, it's not ladylike. And it's like, we want women to advance in society, but we keep putting them in the box,
of course,
and telling them how to act, how to behave, how to condone themselves.
But it's crazy.
Who's gonna break that mold? What's your opinions on everything?
It's crazy, because we all know that they put men basketball on a higher tier, of course. So men basketball
because it's bringing in more money, not because it's better.
But listen, let's just say it could be bringing in more money, because of course it started off with men basketball from the beginning. So beginning of the time, it was like it was just a men's sport.
That's a fact.
But then when the women started doing it, it's like, okay, but they really didn't put as much battery into the women's basketball as they do the men's basketball. So of course, the men is going to always outshadow the women when it comes to certain sports, right?
And it is more athletic. I will say that, because.
Yeah. But girls be getting it in too.
Of course.
But it's crazy how the media do certain things, because they want to push women's sexuality. They want to push it, right? But then when it comes to sports and other things, they were like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, wait a minute. But you guys paint that picture, or y'all push the narrative on women when it comes to television, especially like reality TV and stuff like that. They want to push I don't want to say, well, let's put ratchet. We're going to say ratchet. We're going to say ratchet. But they want, especially when it comes to black women.
And they love to sexualize us too.
Yes, that's why I said they over-sexualize women, right? So now you have females playing basketball. They not over-sexualized. They're going to play just as hard as the men. But when they act just like the men, or they respond like the men, it's like, what are you doing? That's so classless. Why is that classless?
They're being competitive.
We are just as competitive as men. There's females that will compete
even
with
worse
men.
Sometimes.
Yeah, they be like, what? I do it better than you. And the next thing you know, you got a woman and female competing with each other, because there are a lot of women that are competitive. Personally, that's not me. I'm not a competitive person.
I mean, you are probably in your field, because I feel like if you doing anything different, because it's like, as creatives, we view being competitive different. To me, I feel like this show is competing with other shows. Not because I wanted to, but because I'm doing something completely different. Because I'm not following the same path or talking about the same things, I'm going to box myself out I'm gonna break that mold and do something different. Now, if you think it's animosity or beef, that's on you. But I don't view it like that.
But that's what I say. Like the whole, like, okay, with just me being in media, just like you said, like you watch other people. I'm like, okay, how can I be different? Because I want to stand outside the box. I want to be different, but that doesn't mean I'm competing with you. It's just that I want to bring something else different to the table. You know, there might be people that like me, and there might be people that don't. There might be people that like you and people that don't. So it's kind of like if I'm standing out the box, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, Cheech was just doing this, and I kind of like his show over the other show, and it's not more so competing; it's just what you're bringing to the table,
Exactly.
because it, like, when people start talking about, oh, so many people doing it, so many people doing it. Listen, if Wendy's felt like they couldn't do it because McDonald's was doing it, it wouldn't be no Wendy's. Same thing
fact.
with Burger King, same thing with Nike, same thing with Puma, same thing with Adidas. They all sell sneakers, right? But each one of them have their own way of standing
Flavor.
out. I don't think they care about no competition.
No.
They just care about who likes them, and that's it.
And I feel like everyone has their place in the market, and I feel like also it's like I'm big into giving people the option to choose. If all we've been fed and presented is men's basketball, and the emphasis has been on that, we not gonna discover the dope women that play as hard as men. You get what I'm saying? We're not gonna discover the stories, and we're not gonna be exposed to some of these, because some of these girls have some of the same backgrounds as the men. They have the same upbringing, coming from the same communities, and I feel like what in basketball, what they have is, they have like the 30-minute specials. Like Stephen A. Smith in the morning is talking about something that, you have the whole day talking about a game that happened yesterday. And there's so much exposure, and everybody want to talk about your agent, what you doing in the regular season, the offs. So it's like, if we put the same stock into the women's sports, maybe, the value of it will go up. And I just didn't think it was fair to especially a 20-year-old black woman that's, being good. Like, being good is a threat. And, as someone that has a sister, and I'm black, that didn't sit well with me. And the backlash she was getting
From doing something that the other team already did. And there was no backlash from when the other young lady put her hand up or did whatever. It was nothing.
No.
But when she did, it was like, oh, she's disgraceful. She's this.
Ghetto,
And I'm like,
classless.
how is she classless? She did the same exact thing as her counterpartner. What made that so class? It wasn't classless, but she did it.
The CEO of Barstool said what she displayed, she's seen to be a classless piece of shit.
I know, I read that.
You calling a woman, like a young woman at that's in college, that's playing a sport, a classless piece of shit. And that says more about you.
It does, and it says a lot about just
How they view us.
It just says a lot about opposite sex. It just says it says a whole lot about a whole lot of stuff. Like, I kind of sometimes I dig too deep, But as a grown man and you calling a young girl classless, sir, you're classless for even opening up your mouth to say something as classless as you said.
Exactly.
So it's terrible. It's bad because, if a woman says something, they ready to a man. Sometimes it's always a man that be the first one to have something negative to say. And I'd be like, let me ask you a question. Would you put your hands on a female?
You talking to me?
Yes.
No. To me, I feel like that topic specifically, just being violent with women physically, it doesn't sit well with me, because I feel like if I disrespect a woman, I would be disrespecting myself, because I came from a woman. Everything I've been taught has been through women, good and bad. You get what I'm saying? So to me, like, a woman brought me here. Like, and if I have to lose my temper and lose my cool, if I allow somebody else, woman or man, to make me lose my temper enough to be physical, then I'm stepping away from who I am as a person, because I was not raised that way.
I feel like
that's crazy for me.
I'm going to say Americans. I'm going to say a lot of Americans are losing their moral compass. it's like the morals are just kind of down the toilet these days.
I think they see women as property a lot. They see women as trophies and properties. And as soon as you start getting out of place, hey, no, you just need to be pretty and be by my side. You don't need to be good at anything. I want to pay for everything and you cook. Like, no, it's a new day.
It's a
And
new
that's why I
era.
hate
Yes.
the old niggas, because it's like, yo, this is a new day.
You know, I had somebody that I was talking to for a moment, and he made a comment to me saying that when in a relationship, he wants his woman to cook at least 4 times a day. And I mean, I'm sorry, not 4 times a day, 4 times a week. And I was like, well, let me ask you a question. Is this woman working? Is she going to work every day? You know, because if she's busting her ass just as much as you busting your ass, why is that she got to come home and bust her ass some more while you kick your feet up and watch sports? You know, are you
Yes.
going to come in the kitchen and cook with this girl? Like, or like, is that what you plan on doing? And then when he was like, well, I was like, yeah, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
That's a red flag.
Immediately. It's a
That's
red.
That's a red sign.
It's a red flag. Like, how is it that both of us is working hard? It's not like you giving me the option to say, hey, babe, you don't have to work. But, you know, this day and age, you can't take that. Girl, ladies, don't fall for the trap. You hear me? Don't fall for the trap. If the man said, I want you to stay home and take care of the household, have a backup plan, all right? Do something from home. Still make your money from home, because at any given day, if this Negro says he just is not into it anymore, then what's going to
That's
happen?
it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that's the era we are into.
Yeah.
You know, you have females who would rather just be home and be the housewives because they're lazy. And it's hey, I'm not knocking nobody with what they do, but just make sure you are covered in every situation. Period. Don't rely on somebody. Rely on yourself. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So if you want to be an at-home female and you want to be that trophy girl, just make sure you have a backup plan.
And make sure that's what you choose, because I feel like if you give somebody the option to feed you, give them an option to starve you, especially when you don't have a backup plan and you don't have your own bag.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally as a man, and, you know, sometimes I share this with my friends and they look at me crazy. I'm like, I don't want my woman to work as much as me, because when I come home, who's going to help who feel better? And that, I feel like that's the reason why a lot of relationships and marriages break up, because you busting your ass, I'm busting my ass. We get home, we don't even have time for each other. We sleep back to back just to do it all over again. Where's the intimacy? Like, where's the catching up when I get home, telling you about my day, telling me about your day, catching up on a show together? Like, you taking all the, like, I don't know. I think you taking all the fluff out of it.
I look at relationships as when two individuals get together, grown, mature individuals get together.
Emphasis on grown and mature.
Yes, because there is that mature conversation that you need to have before you even start a relationship.
That's a fact.
You know, and some people go into relationships just off the, oh, the sex was good. Oh, we like each other. Let's do it. And then you realize you have nothing in common. And people are stuck in toxic situations because of the fact that they are so drawn to the sex.
Mm-hmm. Or they don't want to be alone.
That too.
It could be it could be a dependency issue too.
It could be. It's a lot. And as a culture, you know, I feel like, yes, therapy, people should go and, you know, see someone and speak about it, because I think we all have issues in one way or another. But with relationships, even if both parties are working and you know you dealing with someone that works hard and both individuals work hard, y'all got to plan something like, okay, we work these days, so on this day, this is our day that we're going to spend together. Even though we coming home and we working and we tired, we're going to do what we got to do. And when our day come, this is when we're going to make it happen. But only mature people can do that. You have people that come, you don't spend any time with me. Okay, so would you rather your man not go to work and be here and not take care of the household? Because if you want your man to be home all the time, he can be home.
That's an evolved way of thinking, because I feel like some people don't understand the difference between wants and needs, right? And I feel like, and it all comes down to planning and communication.
Facts.
You have to plan a vacation.
Facts.
You know, you got to save up, put the right amount on the side. Like, and I feel like if you guys are doing it together, that alone is intimate. planning something, looking forward to something together. Like, people just think about the vacation part, but they don't think about, hey, babe, let's both put $100 a week together away.
That's why
So
you
at
gotta
the
have
end
that
of the
mature,
year or before the
grown
summer,
conversation.
yeah, I mean, but I do agree with what you're saying, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of flagrant shit going on.
It
out here.
is. And you know, some people they scream relationship goals. They see someone like, oh, look at them, but you never know what people are dealing with behind closed doors.
And
Look
the
how
work
many
they're putting in.
Yeah, and just look how many relationships out of the blue, people getting divorced. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. Because you never know what goes on behind closed doors. Stop trying to idolize other people's relationships and worry about yours. You got to know yourself as an individual. And
I
what
love
people
this.
and what people don't understand is you got to be by yourself for some time. Because if you don't know who you are as an individual, the person that you're going to be with ain't going to know you either, because you don't even know who you are.
And you might get lost into their world.
Yes, and that
vice
happens
versa.
to all of us. Like
Yeah.
in relationships, I found myself lost in certain relationships just trying to please someone else, losing myself, because now I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm doing all of this for this person, but yet still I'm not doing nothing for myself. So yes, some people do get lost in relationships. But once you take that time, you need to spend time with yourself. Learn who you are, learn your flaws, know what it is that you want and you don't want.
Well, you preaching
Period.
right now. You talking that shit.
Like seriously.
Yeah, I like you
like
cooking right
seriously.
now.
Nah, like seriously. Like people just don't they don't get it. And I say, listen, take your time. Take your time. Oh, I've been single for 3 years. Hey, so how you doing? No, but
If you have a certified blue check.
no, but it's a journey, and I didn't realize a lot about myself until I spent a lot of time by myself. I didn't realize like how, when I think about certain like past relationships, I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that I probably was the issue.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
This is
like
fun.
no, seriously, I didn't know that I was the issue in this relationship.
Wait, women could be the problem?
Yes, we can. And listen, you got to be able to take accountability.
Wow.
Accountability. And yes, there's been times where when I look back, I was like, dang. So it was me.
Yeah, he was bugging out.
It was me. And it's not that I was bugging out. What I learned about myself is I like to be by myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So in relationships, it was I met somebody who was pretty clingy and liked attention and liked to be schmoozed all the time and cuddled all the time and spooning all the time. And I'm like, come on.
Fuck off.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I wanted to be home and things of that sort. And it's like, well, why you don't want to be with me? Why you want to be home? And it's like, because I want to be, I like my space sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how to communicate that.
But I feel like too, that's why it's good to date. Because when you go on dates and you are going through that dating process, there's a lot of things you get exposed to.
Explain dating.
Dating, to me.
Explain dating.
Because there's dating and
Yes.
there's dating exclusively. Dating is going on dates, exploring multiple different people, different personalities, being exposed to what's out there in the market. When you find somebody you like while you dating, then you could start to date them exclusively if the feeling is mutual.
To start a relationship.
Yeah. And so when you start, it's not even a relationship yet. Once you start...
Or a friendship.
Yeah,
Let's
friendship.
call it a friendship.
A bond, if you will. So once you start dating somebody exclusively, that's when, okay, cool, you coming to spend time at my house. You see how I am. I'm coming to spend time at your house. I see how you are. I'm spending my off days with you. You get to see how I spend my off days, how I spend my busy days. What stresses me out, what doesn't, how I like my kitchen to be arranged. Like, there's so many little things and intricate things you learn just by spending a weekend.
Well, not just that.
Going on a trip
you got to
with
learn
somebody.
yourself.
Of course.
Because a lot of people don't know themselves. They just so caught up jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship that they be like, oh, I keep meeting the same type of guy. Well, if you fall back and understand yourself, you wouldn't be making the same mistakes. You wouldn't be going for the same type of men. You know what I'm saying? The patterns would change. So at the end of the day, it's just being an open book. Some people like, oh, I don't like to open up with nobody. If you don't like to open up, don't date.
That's a fact.
Don't date. If you're not going to open up with somebody you're trying to get to know, do not date. It is not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you feel like you can't open up with that individual,
That's literally
that's
putting
the
yourself out
individual
there.
you should not be dealing with. Because if you don't feel comfortable, then don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Be an open book. Learn yourself. Because, like, for instance, if I'm OCD, but then I know, like, somebody's messy is going to be an issue to me, but then you like, oh, he's a little messy, but that's okay. But you already know in your head that's a problem, but you accept it, it's going to always be a problem.
Of course.
So people don't, they void those flags. Stop voiding those flags because you're lonely.
That's a
Because
fact.
what's going to happen is you're settling, and then you're going to waste time because them same things that you overlooked is always going to be those issues that's going to make you want to leave that person. So know yourself as an individual before you even start dating anyone, because then you know, okay, right off the back, you'll see those signs in the beginning. You be like, okay, he's not for me. But if you sit up there and be like, oh, no, that's okay. No, that's okay. Even though you know it's going to be a problem and you still say that's okay, you setting yourself up for failure.
That's a fact.
So just learn yourself as an individual.
All
Take
right.
your time. Everybody's like, oh, I ain't got time. If we date, we go together, we go together.
Yeah, that's
no,
crazy.
that's not me.
That's scary
That's
to me.
not me. So all the guys that be in my DM that's like, oh, I want to take you out on a date. Listen, let me just put this out there.
Oh shit.
I just want to put this out there, okay? No shade, no nothing.
I'm ready to hear this.
Let me put this out there. And I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant or none of that. But you got to understand, if I have so many dudes in my DMs, how do you expect for me to entertain every last one of you? So when guys be like, I want to take you out on a date, and I say, well, yeah, but when I'm ready, you just got to wait till I'm ready. Stop being, you ready now? Don't, stop.
Wow.
Don't do that.
That's crazy.
Don't do that, because there's so many people that really want my attention. And if you don't wow me, it ain't going to happen. Don't say, I want to take you out to dinner. I take myself, you see, I just took my mom out to dinner.
Yeah.
I do it on a regular.
That was some fly shit.
Listen, don't tell me dinner. Dinners don't excite me because I can do that myself. You know,
You got to stand out pretty much.
Yeah, I want you to be a little different. And I'm not going to tell you how to be different, because that's something that you should be able to do. Because if you can't, then that's going to be a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to tell you what you should do. You know, and it's like, if I got to tell you, then what's the purpose?
Yeah.
You don't stand out for me.
I feel like niggas stopped being creative a long time ago.
Everything is food.
Because food or
Do I look hungry?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do I know, for real? I want to take you to eat. Do I look hungry? I want to take you out to get something to eat. No, seriously. Like, I had to ask people, do I look like I don't eat? Do I look like I'm just saying.
I think what it is a lot of dudes, they forget about the basic principles. It's like you see someone, they trying to match. It's like some dudes got some imaginary competition. For example, a woman like you, they're going to go on your page, they're going to see the follower count. Off rip, they're going to think, oh, okay, cool. Maybe she likes a popular nigga or a nigga with money. You feel me? Just assessing your page. They're not going to see where you know, the gigs you posting, what you into. You get what I'm saying? And it could be as easily like you like DJing, right? You learning how to be a DJ. It could be as simple as, yo, which laptop are you using? Where do you go get this? Which electronic store do you go to?
They about to have a DJ battle. You should come to this show and check it out.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Word, you know,
You got to pay attention to the
originality.
person's interest
Exactly.
and then infiltrate that way.
Exactly. Don't sit up there like, oh, you sexy. I know that. Thank you. You're beautiful. I know that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I
you know
post
what I'm
pictures
saying?
the way I do.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that to be like, I'm saying it as a confident woman, you know, that even if you probably don't think I'm beautiful, I think I'm beautiful. If you don't think I'm sexy, I think I'm sexy. But if you do think that, you don't have to really relay it, because at the same time, it's like automatically I already know that you're attractive. You're attracted to me. It's like, okay, you visualizing me because you see pictures, you see videos. You're like, oh, she's a beautiful woman. I want to get to know her. Every beautiful woman is not beautiful. Okay, and
that's deep. That's deep.
And I'm just being honest. And when guys like, well, why are you single? Because I ain't shit. And they say, but why you ain't shit? I say that because the typical shit that you would want from a female, I'm just not her. You know what I'm saying? So if a guy be like, oh, how come you didn't call me yesterday? I don't have to call you every freaking day or seven times a day.
You speaking my language.
Like seriously, like and it's that because a lot of guys like they'll
Yo.
call you and just say you're busy or you can't answer the phone, whatever. Because now phones are so accessible, people just think like you have your phone in your hand every 24/7, and because your phone rings, you're supposed to pick it up. Somebody texts you, you're supposed to text back or whatever. And my thing is, I'm in media. I'm always talking. On radio. You know what I'm saying?
When it's
Sometimes
time to
I
be
don't.
quiet,
I don't want to do that all the time.
talk to you niggas.
But that doesn't mean I don't like you. It just mean that I don't feel like talking to you right now. You know, I gotta want to be engaging. And if I don't feel like being engaging, then I'm not gonna bore you with a conversation. You get on the phone. I'm sitting up there like, yeah.
And you have a social
Yeah.
meter doing what you do.
But, you know, and that's why when people are like, oh, why are you saying? Because what you want is probably what I'm not going to give you. Because most guys, they are typical. Most, I'm not saying all, but most guys are typical. They want somebody to chase them a little bit. And yeah, us females, we want y'all to chase us a little bit, but it has to be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be talking to somebody 5-6 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Let me miss you a little bit. Let me think about you and be like, oh, you know what? I didn't speak to him today. Let me give him a call.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're the person on my mind, you're the person I'm going to call. But I don't have, if I speak to you 5-6 times a day, guess what's going to
There's
happen?
nothing to talk about.
I'm going to get, nothing to talk about. We're going to get bored with each other fast, easily, because you already know everything. And then when it's time for us to get together and talk, guess what? We ain't got nothing to talk about because we done talked about everything. You know, you just got to pace yourself. Everything ain't got to be so fast. So, guys, when you sit there and be like, oh, why you single? I ain't shit. I ain't shit. And that's in a good way, though. In a good way. You know,
I'm not the shit that you would want.
What you would want. You would want a girl that's gonna call you all the time, that's gonna want to do something all the time. I'm not her. I'm not gonna want to do something all the time. Let's plan something. 2 weeks from now, let's go out. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be what you doing this weekend, what you doing tomorrow, what you doing after work, what you doing. Like, relax. Let me miss you a little bit. Let me think about you a little bit. I got family. I got kids. Well, I got a kid. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
let me fix that.
When did you?
Let me fix that. I got a kid.
I was gonna say, damn, you bounced back quick.
Yeah, like, no, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like, you know,
oh my God,
you got to be courteous of what everybody else got going on in their life too. It ain't all about you. I'm not gonna drop everybody just because now you done popped up in my life, and I think that's a lot of what a lot of people think. They think now I'm a part of your life, you in my life, and now I got to stop what I'm doing because you're here. No, I still had a life before you came in here. I'm just adding you to it. So if we can't be an addition to each other, then you know I.
But you know what it is? I feel like a lot of men, again, they're so used to one version of like a female. Like they're used to the pick me girl, the one that looks good but has nothing going on for herself. So she's the one, obviously, when you offer the trips, the dinners, like she's like her. You get what I'm saying? Like her career is to look pretty. You know, so if that's who she is, when you say, let's go to dinner tonight, of course she's going to be available because she does not have a job. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not speaking for all women. I'm just giving you an example of a type of woman that a lot of guys tend to go for. But it's just now when they get to you, they got to get creative. Niggas hate getting creative.
They hate thinking outside the box. They hate to do the little extra.
They feel like that's too much work, and
that's
there
fine.
You go. You X yourself out.
That's fine, because if you too much, then go. If I'm too much, go find less. And I always say that. They be like, "Oh, you just too much." Well, find less, sir. I don't have to be the choice.
Yo, I like.
I don't have to be the choice. It's okay.
Yo, I see why you're successful. All right, well, you know what? This might be our last topic of the day, but let's transition it to something a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay, lighthearted.
Not lighthearted as in this is like an easier thing to talk to. And we're not going to go into too much details about it. You've seen all the bullshit that's going on with Trump being indicted. And again, in this show, we don't try to get too political, too religious, but I just saw too much hilarious shit going on around that. I kind of had to come to my people and talk about it. Okay. What's your assessment, looking from the outside, on how Trump is being handled? Like, what do you think is going? What's happening in the circus that you've seen on social media?
Listen. Donald Donald Trump. OMG. You know what? Honestly, I kind of have this, I like him but hate him at the same time. And I just feel like when a certain position, certain people should not be entitled or eligible to even try to even just try. And with all of the years of the bullshit that Donald Trump has done and nothing happened to him, it's like, yo, either this dude got the strong
Teflon
arm,
Don.
he got the strong arm, or like we as individuals are just idiots.
Yeah.
Because here people in Florida, like what's going on? Is it the sun? Is it the chlorine in the water? Like I'm trying to figure out like,
You know what it is? I feel like with Trump, again, there's certain qualities about him as the man that I like, which is like, okay, cool, you bold and you tell us who you are.
That's what I like about him.
You are blatantly racist,
Right.
and you stand with
bigot.
Yeah,
And
you
you
stand what
on
you
that.
stand on, and you support people you support openly. I applaud that about you as a man.
Being
you get
a-
what I'm saying? But as a leader, it doesn't fly well with me.
Like I said, you remember I said earlier, everybody is a difference between a boss and a leader. Okay, a leader is going to lead people to the way. A boss is just going to tell you what to do.
Because even all the circus I'm looking at in the media,
it's ridiculous.
Like, the funniest shit for me was when he announced that he was going to get arrested. I'm like,
Yes.
who? Like, this was a play,
Yes.
and so many people missed it. I'm like, who do you know? Like, I've heard of niggas turning themselves in.
You know, he's supposedly the first president in every nation of the world. Every nation. He's the first president who ever had criminal charges put against him. The first president.
I believe it.
And besides his dad, I didn't believe his dad got arrested, but I don't think he wasn't into
Politics.
He wasn't trying to be a president. But this world is sick.
And we've seen it too.
It's sick. But I am going to say this. With all of the nonsense that's going on with Donald Trump, and I hate to have to say this, but I'm going to say this. If I had to choose between
I know where you go with this.
Donald Trump and Governor Ron DeSantis running for president,
Oh, my God.
I hate to say this, I'm going to have to go with Trump.
Yeah, I'm scared of that other nigga. I don't
Ron
know what
DeSantis,
the fuck he got going on.
Listen, if you don't know who Governor Ron DeSantis is,
Do
of
your
course he's the
research.
governor of Florida. But look at all of the bills he's been signing off on. Look what he's trying to do to the Black history. Just really do your research. Like at first, I was rooting for Governor Ron DeSantis around the COVID situation, and I was like, yo, I get him with this whole COVID situation. But then when he started this critical race thinking and the woke act and all of this stuff, I was like, wait, hold up. Even Donald Trump, and as much of a bigot he is, he still didn't sign half the bills that Governor Ron DeSantis did as a governor. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what they do. To me, politicians, all they do is they pander. They pander at the right time, and they see the play ahead of the curve. So when, okay, cool, you guys care about COVID? Let me get on the right side of COVID. You guys care about abortion? Let me get on the right side of that. So education? Let me get on the right side of that. So by the time they decide to run, they done kissed so many ass. They done got so many, like, handshakes. They patted so many people's pockets that it's like a sweep. And it's like, no, it's not a sweep. It's like he's been working this angle for years.
Not just him, it's the people that, you got to understand, like the presidents is always considered a puppet. You still got the Senate, you still got the House, you still got other people who has to vote on whatever decision supposedly is put into place. So the people that really need to get voted is the people in the House. We need to change everything. The whole Constitution needs to be revamped. Everything about the United States needs to be revamped. And to be honest with you, I don't even think we are considered United States of America anymore. I believe the United States was brought out, but We're not going to get too deep into that, but just do your research on that. Look up Bix, right? Figure that out because I'm not going to get into that too. But do your research. Like, you really have to stay on top of. A lot of people don't want to get into politics, but we can't be blind to it either. We got to really know what's going on.
We definitely need more black representation as well.
It's definitely going to change rapidly, and it's going to be a change. And for a lot of people who may be up here, in a couple of years, they're not going to be there anymore. Mm-hmm. If you know what's going on with the U.S. dollar, a lot of people ain't going to be rich. Why you think a lot of celebrities are now going to other countries like Ghana and buying up property and making money in these other countries? They doing that now because they already know the U.S. dollar is not going to be worth anything. So when you see these celebrities going to these countries, you need to start like, why is these celebrities all going to Ghana and buying up houses and lands? Because they already know that the U.S. currency is going to be obsolete in a minute. So start doing your research. Start really knowing what's about to go on, because we get so caught up in reality TV, we get caught up into everything else, that the real shit that we need to be focused on is not being talked about. And I know I talk about it on the radio, but at the end of the day, still do your research, guys, because it's about to get ugly. Martial law and all of that stuff. You know, Governor Ron DeSantis just signed a bill that nobody needs to be background checked or have a permit to carry a concealed weapon. So anybody in the state of Florida, if you are eligible to get a gun, you can carry one, and you don't have to take a class. You don't have to do absolutely nothing. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that's about to happen, and it's all is a plan. It's step by step. You don't see it now, but if you start doing your research, you're going to understand why some of these bills are being signed off. So I know I didn't want to go left. But
No, you straight. But to me, before we wrap up, the funny shit for me, right, with Trump is he announced that he was gonna
getting arrested.
He was gonna get arrested
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
You remember that?
Yeah, on Tuesday. And then we never seen him get handcuffed.
He's not going to get handcuffed.
We never seen a mugshot revealed.
I don't think he's going to get a mugshot.
And now that he's not even indicted.
He pleaded not guilty.
He pleaded not guilty to like 34 counts.
34 counts,
and now he's selling merch.
Yeah.
And this is
And
America.
you know what? His ratings went up, and more people want to vote for him even more now that because what he's saying is that they are out to get him, and he said there's no case.
Everybody
he said there is no case.
Love
there
an underdog story.
Case. Listen.
But listen, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your opinions, your thoughts, your personality, your time with us today. We definitely got to do a part 2.
Part 2.
And again, I applaud the work that you're doing. I applaud that you put effort and care into your work, and you well researched, and you genuinely love what you do.
I do.
And you made time. You know, you were spending time with your mom, and you still came through and showed love. You know, I appreciate that. Can you please tell the people where they can find you on social media?
Y'all want my address so y'all can come visit me?
No,
I'm just playing.
You got enough stalkers. Let's not go.
You got that right. No, seriously. You can catch me on all social media platforms at The Nay Simone. That's TheeNaySimone, the one, the only. Nay Simone. Okay. And you can catch me on X1023 FM out here in West Palm Beach, or you can download the X1023 mobile app. I am on Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
That's dope.
Yes. And you can catch me on Roku TV. I'm sorry. You can catch me on Roku TV.
Vibe check. Is just long, man. And I go by the name of Cheech. And again, you know, shout outs to you guys for supporting us. Yes. Shout out to the hustlers, the street niggas, the dope boys, the nurses, the restaurant workers,
the go-getters, the goal getters.
If you are getting to it and you're not out here committing crimes and hurting people in the process, I salute you and I respect that. And again, thanks for the love. And you can catch us here next week. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We're out. Peace.